So it seems like a lot of people have been affected by a recent change over at Wuthering Waves, and well, it's a not so like crazy one, but it's also something that is pretty interesting to discuss, because if you don't know, recently there was a kind of method that a lot of people are using to get 20% cash back on a lot of their Wuthering Waves purchases. Now obviously, whenever purchasing stuff like Lunites and things like that, people would be doing it through Epic Games to be able to receive a 20% cash back, which obviously, yeah, would save you a lot of money in the long term. Obviously, that's why a lot of people have been using Epic Games to actually buy these, but it seems like they've made a change where you are no longer able to do this. They say, why Wuthering Waves in-game purchases don't give me Epic rewards. They say Kuro Games recently switched the in-game payment system for Wuthering Waves on Epic Games Store back to their official PC payment method. Epic rewards are only granted and can only be redeemed if the purchase is made in the Epic Games Store checkout flow, because these purchases now go through Wuthering Waves' individual store service. These purchases are no longer eligible for Epic rewards. We apologize for the inconvenience. So yeah, it seems like obviously Kuro Games were the ones to pull that one out from Epic rewards. Now obviously I don't know why that is, whether that's because they were facing a kind of cut from the money. I'm not sure if they were receiving less money due to this, or if it was just due to the fact of, I don't know, they just weren't happy with Epic Games just doing it. Again, it could be for a multitude of reasons, and it's probably due to the value of the actual currency itself in game 2, because if you're offering like a 20% cashback, then obviously the kind of worth and value of that currency goes down, and it can create a pretty unfair environment for a lot of people. So again, I can understand why they're doing it. I can understand why Kuro Games would want to get rid of any kind of system like that at Epic Games, because again, it is providing other people with an advantage, which obviously everybody can access, but not everybody really knows about, and some people would then end up paying more. And again, it also could be due to some kind of laws and things like that as well, preventing them from obviously creating kind of unfair advantages like that, which again could be something, something to do along those lines. People have been talking about this as well, saying WuWa JP and Epic topic. Friday, WuWa JP's Epic payments suddenly suspended, and only AI generated responses. Today, individuals reported receiving notifications from support that Epic payments had ended. JP users unable to use Epic points, no prior announcement. So yeah, obviously with Epic Games, you're able to build up some points and things, which obviously gave you some cash back on some of the things, which gave you the opportunity to obviously buy stuff in Wuthering Waves for free, right? But again, it seems like you are no longer able to use those Epic points. So even if you did save up a lot of those points, right, whenever you were buying Wuthering Waves kind of stuff, or literally anything else, even if you were just buying stuff on Epic Games, right, you're now no longer able to use that those saved up points for Wuthering Waves, which is very interesting, because obviously it seems like there's been a lot of people who've been saving this up, maybe, and maybe they're saving it up for like a rainy day or whenever like a new character comes out, right? And obviously then you could just throw all of that kind of pot of money into it, right? But it seems like you're no longer able to do that, even if you do have a large amount saved up, and you'd have to go and spend it on something else, which maybe you don't really want to, which again, I do think is a little bit unfair. I think the remaining balances maybe could have been like allowed to be spent, but apart from that, I don't know. It's pretty interesting. People as well saying users who comment on the Epic incident apparently received warnings from the WuWa JP Discord server. Why? Please say something, Kuro. So yeah, it seems like some people have been warned in the actual official Discord server over in Japan for even talking about the Epic Games incident, which I think is pretty interesting, because surely this should be an open discussion and people talking about it pretty, out in the open, right? They should be allowed to do that, but they have been warned for even discussing it in the chat, which I do think is a pretty interesting kind of development in that. And I think a lot of people were just wanting Kuro Games to kind of say something and to address it. But again, it doesn't seem like that's the case. It just seems like we got that one post from Epic Games, which is incredibly interesting. People have been also commenting on this, saying the post was temporarily removed, but after discussing with the mod team, we've reinstated it with the following clarifications. While the topic itself is fine for discussion, some comments include mention of potential workarounds. Our moderator team stance on this as follows: discussion of such workarounds is not allowed here, as they may violate Kuro Games' terms of service. We want to ensure users are not misled or being put at risk for the content that's being posted on the subreddit. 100% true. I totally get that. I get why they would have taken it down, because again, there are other alternatives to getting cheaper kind of Lunites. but obviously they're not allowed to share that over on the official site, which I think is totally okay. Obviously, a lot of people as well saying huge out. I didn't care about the 20% return, but localized prices, it is now 30% more expensive for me to pay anything, that's actually kind of insane. I didn't even realize that was one of the big benefits to this. I thought the only benefit was the 20% return, but it seems like they were also getting localized prices, more fairer prices for people in different regions, but apparently that is now gone. So plus the fact that I now have around $30 in epic rewards for BP and subscriptions. Hopefully JP does enough ruckus to guarantee a change, because this is ass. Can someone tell me if Steam still does the transaction through Steam? They say you can still buy the battle pass without localized pricing in their website. Way better off than using those shady sites, I guess. Said it did on Sunday when I bought the battle pass. They said that's unfortunate. Say how I only buy stuff through the site or the official launcher. Steam charges sale tax for me and I'm not paying it. They said, well, I found out about the Epic Game Store 20% cashback last week. I bought 50 pack for and got 10% a $10 cashback, and I used it to buy the battle pass. It's a shame that they're removing this, which yeah, obviously you can see where the benefits come from of having a system like that, and people wanting to actually spend a little bit more money. And obviously I feel like as well, you know, although Kuro Games has taken it down for whatever the reason they did, I feel like it actually provided probably a little bit more money to Kuro in general. I think a lot of people wouldn't actually pay for some of the on-store things if they weren't able to get that cash back, because again, it seems more like a deal. So again, they were probably generating more revenue than they would have with a lot of these rewards, but again, it seems like they aren't happy with that. But again, if they were localizing a lot of the kind of payments, that does suck, because again, it seems like they have really helped out with people in other countries that maybe have to pay more or something through the official site. Now, obviously, me personally, I've only paid through the official game, you know, whenever you just go into the store and pay for it. I mean, I just don't really care. It's just like, I'll support the company, whatever. But again, obviously, I can understand why a lot of people would want to save all the money that they can where possible. And yeah, obviously, people saying the same amount. I play through Steam, but whenever I get update the Lunite subs, I open the game on a real quick launcher and then buy it there really quick. I said I use Galaxy Store for Lunite subscriptions, $49.99 compared to $5.99 on Google Play. Most other prices are the same though. They said all €2 with the monthly coupon. They said we used to get go-to coupons in the Galaxy Store for 90% off, so the subscription would only cost like 50 cents. But then they changed the maximum discount allowed. Obviously, people saying pretty greedy move. To be honest, they said, yeah, I saw a 50k player with 50k yen who couldn't even use the rest of their chargeback. Insane rug pull. Which, yeah, that's pretty crazy. You know, if you had something like 50k yen saved up and you don't get to use that in the game, I think that's pretty insane, because, you know, what else is there ready to spend it in, you know, kind of Epic Games, unless you want to spend it like Fortnite, I guess. Again, it just doesn't really compute to me why they wouldn't allow them to just kind of, it does make sense why they wouldn't allow them, because again, they don't want people just spending free stuff on there, right? But at the same time, they should allow them, because it's one of these things where these people are paid, you know, obviously to have this credit, and they wanted to spend it on, you know, Wuthering Waves, but now they can't, which I think, yeah, is pretty ridiculous. I don't see why, you know, that is even the case there. They said it was already more expensive in Poland to buy anything in-game through Epic with cashback in mind. Now it's a robbery. Obviously, someone said, now that's really awesome move from Kuro. Now I'd have to buy BP and half a year subscription. I mean, that is not an awesome move, but I'm guessing they've been not hypocritical. I forgot what the word is, but anyways, you get what I mean. They say, wait, if I can remember, there's also other gacha games in the Epic Store, right? I mean, those big four things. Does this mean that you'll earn epic rewards if you purchase items on those other gachas, but not on WuWa? WuWa aligned them with those other gachas that does not earn rewards. So WuWa basically cut itself off from Epic system. If other games still use Epic for payment, you'll still be able to use them. So yeah, again, if there's other gacha games on Epic that you can play and you like playing, you're still able to use a lot of the credit over on there. So again, I'll probably recommend doing that, because it seems like Kuro Games are just going to continue moving forwards with their own system. But yeah, you can see obviously why a lot of people are angry at this, and why people aren't very happy with the fact that, you know, Kuro Games are no longer using the Epic system for this. But again, it's a pretty interesting one. And yeah, we'll have to keep you guys up to date if there's any kind of updates on this, because it seems like there's been some heavy pushback from JP regarding a lot of these changes. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code CASA, get 10% off again. We got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. So, see ya.